What's up, everybody? It's your Queen Kilo back with another episode of the Unruly Plug, where the real ones get plugged in and the underground stays royal. Now, today's episode, we taking it to another realm. We got 2Wiin Kingz in the building. Not just rappers, not just twins, but poets, warriors, and walking truth tellers. You might have seen them featured in the Source magazine, where they were called the Warriors of Words, on a phenomenal journey. But trust me, we're going deeper than what was printed because what's royalty is the real story: pain, growth, brotherhood, and purpose. Okay? We're diving into their album, She Made Heaven Fall, breaking down the bars behind the bars. And then we're hearing some of their latest tracks on that album, okay? So sit back, plug in, grab your drink or whatever it is, because we got royalty in the room, okay? Take us away with the intro, baby. Unruly, 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 I had a break. Unruly, 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 unruly. I'm new to this, but I'm still true to this, you know?
What up? What up?
Hi.
Hello. Can you hear me?
All right, what's going on? How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? I do apologize for the push. And then unfortunately, I tried to get 2Wiin on the same call, but 2Wiin he's out of commission right now. He's good, but
Okay.
yeah.
Want to make
Unfortunately, he's not
sure.
gonna be able to make it. Yeah, he ain't gonna be able to make it.
It's okay. Everything is okay. I
You got
understand,
you got
things
one half. You got one half of the duo, so I got all the answers.
that's all that matters. At least somebody's here to tell the story and, speak for y'all, okay?
Absolutely.
So, 2Wiin Kingz, that's the name of the duo, right?
Yes.
Do you guys go by individual names or it's just
We've always gone by 2Wiin. It's been we're actually really twins. We don't just use the lingo to use the lingo. Like we're actually twins. So our whole life, everybody been always mixing us up. So we just go by 2Wiin. That's always been that. It's always been that way. I mean, when I guess when people start to ask like when you want to know is like who we are personally, like our individual names and all that, it makes it easy if you actually get to know us, and
yeah.
it's easy to be like, yeah, that's Sil, that's this D. And that's
Yeah.
it. Because we don't have rhyming names, so it's easy to really differentiate. But you have to know who you're talking
You have
to.
to actually know y'all.
Yeah.
Got it. So I was thinking like immediately the only other group I could think of was Clips. So
Yeah.
I don't even know if they're really twins, but I think they
They're
are.
fraternal. I think they're fraternal twins.
They look enough alike that
Yeah,
I
they're
never
definitely
questioned it.
siblings for sure.
Yeah, they're
I think they're
absolutely.
twins. I think they're fraternal because you got identical, you got fraternal. Me and 2Wiin identical, so it's like he mixes up all the
There's a
time. I
lot of
even
us.
call him 2Wiin. I'm like, yo, 2Wiin, what up, man? Hey, that's how we all the time. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, like the only comparison was Pusha T, and then see, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
there is no other real legitimate like twin group out there that has like some type of notoriety or any type of success. So
Yeah,
we're trying to break that cycle. I mean, we ran into a lot of other twin artists out there. But they don't really go by like they don't like that's not their niche. Their niche is
yeah,
just they're twins, but they don't really incorporate twinning in
yeah.
their name or anything like that. So we ran into a lot of them. A lot of them, they're doing their thing. Some of them washed out, But
That's just
we've been grinding we've been grinding hard since 2019. So we getting somewhere.
hey, you got to keep going, and whatever your niche is or whatever like it is that you do, if you are not consistent, you can be washed out that
Yeah,
easily. So
yeah.
um listen, I'm fans. First of all, I just want to let you know, like,
Appreciate it.
I've read the piece that they did in Source magazine. I've
Mhm.
listened to the latest album. I still got to catch up with the other ones. I've just been busy, like
Oh
life
yeah,
is like. I
it's a
stalked y'all Instagram a little bit. I'm not too much. So it's 2Wiin, the one that just recently got engaged. Then
yes.
okay. So tell him I said congratulations to him and his
Yeah.
girl.
Oh yeah,
Um, we
absolutely.
love to see it. But yeah, so I want to get into all of that like I do. And we're going to still play the music.
Yeah.
But I want us to be able to talk about everything that you're unable to talk about on like that you have. I don't want to just keep repeating questions and going
Yeah,
over things that you're just beating over and over again. We've done
yeah,
that. We've talked about that. Where you from, where like who you are. I just want you to be able to tell your story like genuinely.
hell yeah,
So I know that you can't nobody can speak for someone else. I mean you can, but you
yeah.
can't like truly speak for your brother, but who
For the
else?
most part, I can though.
I was about to say who else would be a better
Yeah,
representative.
yeah. Exactly. I could definitely speak on him for sure. Hell yeah.
So yeah, so before we get into the source feature and the new album, I just want to take a step back and for the folks that are on my platform who are just meeting you, I just want you to explain to them who y'all are.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for letting us be a part of your platform, and salute to all of your followers and fans and admirers, because you know your platform is definitely dope.
Thank
I'm a fan as well. Who we are, man? We the Twin Kings, man. We are a legitimate twin group, twin hip hop group. We fell in love with hip hop since the age of 9. If you know our story, then you'll know that we fell in love with it in the home where it was created in the Bronx.
you.
We were 9 years old. We was going to Soundview Park, and we got caught up. My cousin just stopped, and they just randomly did a cipher in front of a corner store on our way to Soundview Park to play basketball. And we was just captivated by the fact that so many people just stopped to listen in and rap about what's going on in the exact moment. And it blew my mind. It blew our mind. And we asked our cousin to help us write our rhymes, and man, he helped us write our first rhyme at 9 years old. And ever since then, we just honed in our pen, man. So you know, we throughout the years, you know, we had a rough upbringing. We bounced around. We were born in Maryland, was in New York every summer, and then we eventually moved to New York to spend the back half of our life, I believe, from around 11 years old. That the year between 11 and 12, we moved to New York, spent the rest of our life pretty much in Brooklyn. Um, really like grew up in Brooklyn, I would say. And then we kind of started to go our separate ways. We went our separate ways. I would say after our first year in college, we went to college. We actually got recruited to play football. We were high school athletes, collegiate athletes. But we ended up losing our scholarship after our first year because the whole coaching regime pretty much gone. And you know, when they bring a whole new coaching regime in, they bring all their players. You know what I'm saying? So you're pretty much going back to recompete, and it's not even promised that you're going to get your scholarship back. So when we found out we wasn't getting our scholarship back, we was like, I'm not eating that out of state cost tuition. That's dead. So I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and join the army. We both kind of made that decision to join the army. We joined the army at the same time. And the year we went in, the first year, straight to war, straight to Afghanistan. So he went to Afghanistan out of Fort Bragg. I went to Afghanistan out of Alaska. Two different units. We were separated the whole time. He has his combat stories where he got blown up twice. Got a metal plate in his face, but hey, don't worry, he looks exactly the same. So the surgeries, the doctors did a great job making him look the same. So if you really get to know he has like a scar right here and a scar underneath his eye. But that you have to like kind of get close up. You'll see it if it's close up. I've been through my combat tours. I've done a lot. Spent about 9 years in the service. My twin brother did about I think two and a half, maybe 3 years in the service. And yeah, and then that whole duration, that whole time period, don't think it wasn't about music. We were still hitting each other up, talking about verses. Every time we had an off time on tours or whatever case is, we go to the studio, try to record something. He'll send me back a verse or try to do something. He, does his stuff, sends it back to me. I give him critique, stuff like that. So music was always a part of it. Even when we was in Afghanistan, we was battling other guys that was in the military that could rap and all that stuff like that. So music was definitely a part of it. I would say leading up to our career now into music, it was one, before we got into the music, I got married. He got married before. Then he went through, divorce and all that stuff like that. Then obviously he got back re-engaged. So salute to him, you know what I'm saying, and his new family. I have a wife, kids. He has a fiance now and kids. So we just been going through the grind, and he had to do a really 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 hard time convincing me to jump back into the arena of actually taking music seriously, which leads to the story of who we are. So I'll try to make it short. I don't want to be long winded, but
Take your time. Listen, I love
yeah,
the story.
it's a lot. We've been through a lot, but so he convinced me to jump back into the music industry, and his convincing. I asked him. I said, "Hey, man, if you want me to do something, we have to do something that nobody's ever done before." And he had to sit on his hat for that. So shout out to him for coming up with this creative idea with our track titles. So if you pay attention to any album that we've ever done, if you read the track titles, you can read the message that we're delivering just through the track titles. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
we'll
my
go.
goodness. I
We'll go
love
through
that.
that. I'll have you pull up one so you can read it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then but we do that every track title that we ever release. I think we're at I think this upcoming month will be at 65 records that we've released.
Okay.
Four studio albums. Our fifth studio album's coming out in next month, Juneteenth. Um, yeah, so he convinced me to jump back in the arena, and yeah, man, I told him, I said, I want to take it serious. I want to know the business. I want to understand how this works. I don't want to half-ass anything, and we're gonna just go full-fledged into it and don't quit. And I promised him 100 records, so we're not gonna stop till we get there.
You're over halfway there for one.
Yes. Yeah.
But two, so there's so many things I have to speak on, but I love to listen fully before I respond. So
Yeah.
one, thank you for your service. I was also in the army. Me and my wife both served in the army. And,
Salute to you.
yeah,
Salute to you.
I did almost 10 years. I did 9 years and 9 months. But
Yeah.
um, so I get it. And then thank you both for your service. For
Oh
me,
yeah.
just well, he'll watch the episodes and see his thank you, hopefully.
Oh yeah. He will for sure.
And then second, I wanted to ask you how, because you said he convinced you, he convinced you, he convinced you. What did it take? Like, what did he do? What was it that made you say, okay, let's do it?
Okay, he told me, and it pissed me off. After I told him, before I gave him the okay, it has to be something that we never done before. He knows how to poke at my I guess ego a little bit, I guess you call it. And
Mhm.
he literally said, "Well, if you don't want to rap, then I guess you're gonna be the greatest living room rapper of all time."
Sit on his skill.
That pissed me off. I was like, all right. I don't know if I can curse and all that, but I told her, I said,
Oh, yes.
all right, motherfucker, let's do it, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, fuck it. I was like, but before I agree, we have to do something he's never done before. So he took a couple, like a day or two, and then came back to me, called me at like the middle of the night. He was like, I got it. I was like, what? He was like, we're gonna tell a poetic, a spoken word story through our track titles, and nobody's ever done that before. And I was like,
Wow.
you piqued my interest. I don't mind hanging my hat on that, saying, yeah, I did that first,
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I challenge accepted. So yeah,
It's meaningful. And now it has me, we're going to go through it, but now it has me like eager to go through it because
oh, yeah.
I've always thought of like out of the box things. I don't do music, but I have like these ideas like, what if somebody told a story through,
Yeah.
but I never like thought about it enough to speak on it or try, obviously, because I don't do it. But I think that's great that he was able to think of that and that y'all were able to implement that. But I also like the message because I've been listening to the songs and it's not like what other people are talking about. Like you're talking about real life experiences. And I love that for our people, our community. So, I definitely wanted to get back on that, touch on that a little more. So the first thing we're going to do though is listen to. Now we played First Things First on the show before, but I want to play it again. It was a good song, but also that is one of the songs that I think your marketing manager sent.
Yeah, Dom. Yeah, salute to Dom.
Yes, no, hard working. I love when a lot of artists are starting to get marketers or managers and things like that. It's like it's something that you got to take serious if you want to do this because we can't do it alone. You have to outsource, and especially when people are working on that particular craft, it's like it allows you to work on yours. So
exactly.
And then another thing I wanted to mention was the fact that Twin was like the guy on what college commercial where he's like, you just sitting on the couch all day, not doing nothing.
Yeah.
That's the energy he was giving, and that will definitely make me get up. I'm like, you know what? Okay, fine. I'll do it.
It was like challenge accepted because you know, a lot of guys they'll record a song or they'll have something and they're like, yeah, man, you know, you always got that person in your family. Yeah, I could rap, I could do that, you know, and then they know you're talented, but then you don't really apply it. So it's like, oh yeah, it's just wasted talent, you know. So it was like, all right, man, challenge accepted. I'll step out the box a little bit and do it. And my competitive edge, because I always compete with him my whole life. So the competitor in me was like, I'm gonna beat you on every track. I'm gonna try to destroy you on every. That's just how it is, you know, every time. Yeah.
That's a good motivation though, especially if it's a friendly competition. Like,
Oh, yeah.
y'all don't know.
Oh,
but I love a good friendly competition. It brings out the best people. So we're gonna play this first song, which is First Things First.
I'm going design, supreme architect, this by design. They gon' base it, they got in advance. Sign that life away, they in a trance. All they good for is making you dance. From fresh air, I'm like a fan. I'm different, but you don't understand. It's legible, I'm good with my hands. Let me tell you how we beat the odds. Baltimore to Brooklyn City blocks. Seen it all, this can't be stopped. It's like bar at the bar. Overload my can't hold. Let it go, highly decorated, celebrated. Tell a fuck nigga that I made it. I was ready to die for my country. You think I'm scared of walking through your city? I should be good. Anonymity, got the same skin. Are you kidding me? Why you look at me like an enemy? Rap level, this the epitome. Cost too much money to get rid of me. Mask off, I ain't hiding shit. All them hoes good for sucking dick. Makes it so easy when you're rich. They said life's about a bitch. Wife mine had a couple kids. More the story, twin never miss. Everybody wanna get by. Everybody wanna get high. Everybody wanna sell drugs. I'll be the 9 to 5 guy. Go ahead, take the elevator. I'ma take the stairs to the top. Over your head, you can watch. Sit back, enjoy the fucking view. Now you can guess who is who. I am not the bearer of bad news. I will not be used as a muse. I will not conform to these rules. Differences between me and you. I'll be stressed sitting by the pool. Backstroke, I own this bitch too. I will not be coached by a fool. Business what we rap about. A free verse is a handout. I get paid for my thoughts now. I walk with God, this is ordained. My life is a movie. Hip hop nigga, hooray. We them nigga, who they? Run the numbers like it's draft night. You too grown for what you act like. Don't be blinded by the bright lights. This is gospel, like minds. Up early, out getting mines. Twins rap for the 9 to 5. In the state like you know the drive. We rap to be immortalized. This is God talk to mortal minds. I know your demons is horrified. Know this castle is fortified. Most women don't date rappers. Half of them gonna die young. Young artists don't know business. Are you sure this what you really want? Red pill or the blue one? Take a journey down a rabbit hole. This is shit you probably never know. It's the art of the control. Pedos for the young rappers. Most fuck just to get a deal. Plucking talent from the drama schools. Groom you to become cool. Killing artists for insurance money. Don't think they can't be you. They don't pray to the same God. Coin flip, nigga, shoe size. My favorite rapper really broke. Drugged up, probably hound some coke. Nightmares about dropping the soap. Feels bad about selling the soul. Crossroads on the road to the top. Can't drop all the shit that he got. Label own house, car on his watch. Getting rape, niggas begging to stop. It's the truth, nigga, like it or not. Nepotism, how he got in the spot. Power trip off the money and clout. All that nigga don't fuck up the count. Money gone, then you broke. Whoa, let the worst of being famous and broke. You don't own all the shit that you wrote. Sucking and fucking to get up the deal that you covered and doing your part in the rituals. Don't even know what them situations are. Don't even know who your enemies are. Listen to them all cause we made it this far. They control us, we do what we want. Playing the game, I'm skipping the jump. You ain't hip yet, we in the front. Shot, take a going to lunch. Beware, they spucking a punch. Put you on game, winning with us. Told y'all they ain't playing with us. Turn down deals, value to such. I ain't bending over for nobody's son. Simulation broke, you woke up to one. Nigga.
I love the way that ended.
Oh, yeah.
Facts. No, that was so dope.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We had a lot of fun writing that record. You know, that's the intro to It's Funny How Life Is. That's just the intro.
I was just about to get there because I was like, okay, so I saw that was on the latest album. That It's Funny How Life Is was the cover of that song. Yeah. So it raised some questions because I haven't listened to that one yet. But so what was like the process like? One, I love how y'all have two different sounds. I don't know who is who, but I can tell that
I'm the first one, and then Twin was the second one. Yeah, he has a more deeper voice note than I do. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a little bit more. I'm kind of a little bit more higher. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like he has a more aggressive tone to it, I think.
Yes, but it absolutely complements each other. Like your voices complement each other, and then like the style, like you can switch up the flow and everything else, but it still goes together. You know?
Yeah. Sometimes a lot of practice.
Yeah. So what was like the process for that? Because First Things First automatically tells me how y'all coming. So like, And then y'all was talking about some real stuff. I'm not about to be coached by. Boo. And it was just like, I'm listening to it. This is like my 5th time listening to it, but I'm still catching new things every single time I'm listening to it. So what was that like?
So the creative process for that, it kind of set the precedence for the album. That's why it became the intro, because it came out of frustration in a way, because it was around the time we got offered, like the last deal we got offered. And it was like more of a fuck you. Cause like the deal was I don't really care about speaking on the damn fucking label no more, because they probably shadow banned us at this point. But like realistically, they offered us a deal, and then we was like, nah, these numbers ain't mathing, because like in all actuality, like I'm not struggling, my twin not struggling, so you're not really getting struggle bars. So it's not like, oh man, we're funding our own career based off of our own hard work and 9-to-5 jobs. So it's not like we don't understand where this is going, but you're not gonna try to throw a dollar at us and be like, oh my god, we're gonna jump to that. You know, I think it was like they tried to offer the last deal they tried to offer us. It was an independent investor. It was like 2.5 million, but it was like over the course of like 6 years, 5 or 6 years is when we had to start paying it back. But it was like, in the event if you fail, you own nothing, you get nothing. We take it all. So whatever money you spent on whatever you use the money on, whether you paid your car off or you paid whatever to make sure you maintain your lifestyle, or you buy studio equipment, you get an RV, he owns all of that. And I was like, nah, that don't seem intriguing enough to me. Not saying that I was worried about failing. Nah, I'm not worried about failing. I'm definitely confident in my craft and confident enough in what we're doing to be able to be successful. But I'm not gonna take your dollar and then you take everything, because then you'll be kind of hoping I do fail, because then at that point you not only get your money back, but then you take everything I got.
So it's like they're really not on your side.
Yeah, it's like, are you believing in me, or are you just
exactly with me? And it's tricky. And these days, like artists in these days, we've learned enough about the artists in the past, like TLC and all of them, who were robbed for their money and their talent, and they have nothing to show for it. So I think it's very important that you stress that. And I saw one of the I can't remember the podcast that you did that y'all did the interview with, but you mentioned something about talking with Fat Joe and how he explained the process behind doors, and it was just like, that's not something that I want to do. I want to just stay independent.
Because it's and shout out to Fat Joe's team, man, because they at least kept it real with us. You know what I'm saying? Because we obviously, there's always gonna be money involved in any type of business endeavor, whether they're doing something for you or you need somebody to do something. There's always gonna be some type of transactional thing or whatever. But shout out to Fat Joe, man. His team kept it real. They broke it down to us how this thing works. And us kind of getting a little peek behind how this industry works. It was like, I think I'll stay independent, because at least I ain't gonna have too many hands telling me or pulling me in multiple different directions to do things. And it's like for all of that, I just want to just be creative, man. I just want to enjoy the creativity behind it, enjoy what I'm doing. I don't mind turning it into a full-time job, but I'm not gonna have, like, the creative control is what I want, right? So for example, right, the message that we deliver is kind of to change the landscape of the industry, not so much follow the landscape of the industry. So a lot of our music, sometimes you'll get bars and it's kind of anti-industry. It's not anti-industry, it's anti whoever's running the industry. And I think they know that. So they're deliberately trying to push us back, because they're like, nah, these guys are hot. These guys really can write. These guys are, but I don't know if they're going to fit what we want. And I'm like, yeah, we're not going to fit what you want, because one, in my opinion, hip hop was created to be able to be influential, and you see the influence that it has, but it was made to be impactful for us to be able to creatively express ourselves, what's right morally. And right now, what you see, whoever's running the show, they're pushing everything against that. It's the I hate to say it, but it's true. I know, no knocking, these artists out there, but they're pushing the sexy reds. They're pushing, they're pushing that negative agenda, that drill, that kill them, that I gotta kill everybody on my block. There's nothing uplifting at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's what they want, and it sucks, and it's
it's annoying, and it's like for us, it's like fuck that. That's why, not to overstep, but that's exactly why we're dropping a Black Empowerment tape on Juneteenth.
Hey, I'm
Dropping
here
a Black
for it.
Empowerment tape. We're dropping that punch you in the face. Hey, wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like wake up. This is us. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what we do.
I love to hear that. First of all, I'm one of those Black people who all about Black people.
Yeah, I am
not
too.
I'm not racist. I don't hate
Yeah,
other races or none of that. But
exactly.
I know where we've gone through. I know where we've come. I know what it was like to be Black in the army fighting for a country who don't even give a fuck about you.
Exactly.
So it's like
the hate when you get off the plane and you like, yo, I just did the worst tour. You want me to, and you gonna come back and hate me?
Exactly.
I'm the devil. Like, damn, I
other countries love us more than they love us here, and it's scary. So it's like, no, I get it, and I'm all for independent artists remaining independent because it's a little more work. It's gonna be a little, more frustrating, but if that's what you really want to do, you have to do it because you have to invest so much into yourself just to actually be seen and to be heard. And a lot of people want to take shortcuts and cut a deal and all of this. I'm glad that y'all are wise enough or that y'all know enough to be able to say, listen, I'm not that thirsty for it. I'm no shade to anybody who does, but because there's different strokes for different folks. But I'm glad that you are able to promote and endorse remaining independent and be successful at it on top of that. Like a lot of people can shout it from the rooftops, but they have like 2 people that listen to it. And there's nothing wrong with the 2 people that are listening to whatever. But also we want to hear it from people who have done things and actually have made some noise and people are interested in, and they have that choice to remain independent. It's not like you're just doing it. So
and it's not that I'm anti signing a deal. I know I had a lot of people ask me that, man, y'all just against record deals. I'm like, no, I'm not against the record deal. I'm just against the wrong deals. They have deals for the right artists, but you have to make a staple. You have to give them no choice. You have to be able to leverage something. Like that's kind of the reason why I said let's do 100 records, because out of 100 published records, it's impossible for you not to like one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Statistically, you're going to like one. That's just probability and statistics. I'm a math guy. Trust me, you're gonna like one. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know that. And being able to sit down at a record meeting, they're like, "Oh man, how many records you got?" I got 100. Oh, yeah, he's not 100. Are they on streaming platforms? They're on all streaming platforms. Oh.
They have
they gotta shut the fuck up a little bit. Like, hold up, now I know who I'm talking to. This guy's not no slouch. He knows we write it all, we've done it all, we pen it all. They're like, oh, wait a minute, he can not only have 100 records, but we can use this guy to write for another artist. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't mind doing, but you're gonna offer me the right deal. You're not gonna just say, oh yeah, we're gonna just because it's like, and I don't mean, like I said, I don't mean to be long-winded, but it's like what me and Twin talked about a couple months ago. What happened to this one artist, I think under OVO, right? Drake signed the kid. He had like over 100 records. The kid had over 100 records. One song went viral. The Drake reached out to the manager, said, I want to jump on the remix. Of course, the artist going to be like, it's Drake. Of course, I want you to jump on my remix. Drake pretty much pigeonholed the kid, told him, take all your 100 records down and push one.
Wow. And
then shelved them. It happens. It happens so often. It sickens me because it's like, I know as artists, this hard work, the grind, the push, to do everything. You do everything right to get it, and you finally get that one song that blows up. And you know what artist I'm talking about? I can't remember the kid's name, but he was like, "It's that song that we going up."
I love the comment.
Why you think you haven't heard him?
That is so true. I just asked somebody the other day what happened to him.
He got signed to OVO, and they put him on the shelf. The kid was crying to get out that record deal, but that's what happens. And that kid had over 100 records out.
Wow.
But it happens.
That because once they look him up, they only see that one song or whatever because he had to take That's crazy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are only seeing it from Drake's perspective because they didn't know him before then. So they're like, oh, Drake made him and things like that.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. It's
But that's why I
dangerous.
said it's not smart to get signed underneath another artist, in my opinion. I think the smartest thing you could do, and this is just free game, the smartest thing you could do is get signed underneath a major, or even if you got to go to like I like to call JUCO, like what Big X said. JUCO is like United Masters. Getting signed to a distributor, getting signed to something like that makes more sense for an independent artist because they'll be able to focus on you and not, oh yeah, you're gonna get signed. And but by the way, the biggest artists we have is Rihanna and Chris Brown and all these. And then you're like, well, if you got these artists, then I know I'm nobody on this list because I mean I'm not priority on this label. How could you be priority on the label with Chris Brown? How could you be priority on a label that got Kendrick Lamar? How could you be priority on a label that got all these bigger art? You know what I'm saying? It's bigger to kind of step and build your base first and not just sign to an artist. Because what's going to happen? You're going to sign to an artist. They're going to take all your hot stuff and then shelf you, push you to the side, and push their own agenda. It's cutthroat. It's very cutthroat.
No, it's dangerous out there.
Yeah,
for sure. Wow. So
I know that was a lot. I know.
No, but it was necessary because somebody needed to hear it.
Yeah.
And even there was even things that I learned. So it was necessary. And I don't mind the long-winded as long as we're gaining something. I'm a learner.
Oh, yeah.
So I love to learn. I do want to get into the Source magazine feature. I don't want to do too much, but it's legendary, so we have to speak on it.
Thank you.
Because they called y'all lyrical warriors. And I just know that there's more to that story. I want to know what's going on, what's something that they didn't capture that you want people to understand, or what is the explanation behind the lyrical warriors? Because I've heard it, I know.
Yeah, I mean, lyrical warriors is kind of taking our military experience and being able to take that same drive, that same structure, that same attention to detail, the dress right dress, that attention, that dialect, and correlating that over to lyrics. Because everything we write is meticulous. We from line by line, we're competing with each other, right? So from metaphors to double entendres to haikus to similes to whatever we do, we're doing it in a way to be creatively driven and not sound the same repetitively, right? So what I mean by that is, well, I'll get to that. I'm not gonna go down that path because I already know where my mind went. But so the lyrical warriors kind of stem from that, and I think to encompass what they probably missed, I think they poets. My twin brother has a book of poems that he plans on publishing. After our music career is over and we started to kind of worry about other things, we're probably going to lean towards. I thought about writing my own book because I'm definitely a great storyteller. And then my twin brother is thinking about publishing a book of poems, like I said, and we correlate that into not only the lyrics of what we do, but we also do it with like I said, with the track titles. We telling a spoken word story that people they're not privy to it now, because I think when we start getting closer to the end, we're going to really push hard and make people really understand that message, throw a bunch of ads at it so people can really say, hold on, what did they do? And we're like, all right, now I understand why they took this long to get to this point and really deliver it home, because we're doing it not just with the track titles, but the album titles as well. So it's a double story. So for example, our first album we dropped, it's called In Order of Precedence. The EPs kind of fall in line with that as well. So I'm gonna say In Order of Precedence, Everything Changed. When She Came, She Made Heaven Fall, and Froze Summer. It's funny how life is. That's all our album titles in a sentence. Yeah, written straightforward.
Yeah, that's fire. To even think that deep into it, no, that's absolutely fire. And
I feel I'm sorry, my bad.
No, go ahead.
That's what I mean by the dress right dress, the attention to detail. That's why they say lyrical warriors. So they're like, yo, these guys take it to
that's very powerful.
Yeah.
I feel so. First of all, because when you talk, I have 8 questions lined up, and usually I just spit them at people. But since I'm trying to be professional. I'm just like,
No,
listen,
you good.
I don't want to interrupt you, but like, so, one, since I don't know if you see the Source magazine as like a huge accomplishment or not. I know people from New York kind of be like, it's whatever. Like, but my wife is from Brooklyn, so it's very hard to impress y'all.
Yeah. Nah.
If it did, like, how did that impact your momentum as far as, do we got to go harder now, or XYZ? And then the next question after that, if you we can answer them in whatever order, is what does the process look like when you two, because you said you're very meticulous, does that mean you two lock yourselves in a room and write like that, or it's like, okay, we're texting these messages to each other, or it takes a couple of days? Like, what type of process is that for a duo? It's different than just one person. So for y'all to be on the same time, I mean, y'all are twins, but how? So those two questions.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So the first question, yes, it was a huge accomplishment for us. It didn't really change too much of the trajectory because, like I said, we have a mission, and the mission has to be accomplished. That's how we look at it. So yes, it's a great accomplishment. It's a great notch on our belt. A great statistic on our resume. But right now we're in resume building mode. We're building our catalog up. We're building our resumes. We're doing the podcast, and we're doing the interviews. We're doing the shows. We're doing the performances. We're building our resume up to be able to throw it in their face like, hey, you've been playing with us, but you see, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of those, like, we're building it up. So yes, it's a great accomplishment. We definitely hold it in high regard. It did add a little bit of hunger, a little bit of fuel to the fire. Like, we making some type of noise. We're making some impact. So yes, to answer your question with that, yes. As far as the creative process, we used to, when we were younger, like, kind of lock ourselves in a room and come up with a topic, and then go at each other bar for bar, and then we write it down. We used to kind of do that process, but we're so seasoned now. It's not like that. Like, it's more now. It's still hard because we still have to agree on a topic. I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna write a love song, and he not in a lovey-dovey mood at all. It's gonna be like, well, I guess we gotta wait for this. You know what I'm saying? Well, what do you got in the mood for? So it kind of derives off of the production first. So whatever we're in the mood or in the production mood we're feeling, it starts there. We've been really lately been in a boom bap mood. So typically we get the production, he'll get the beat, I'll get the beat, and then we'll just like kind of sit on it for a couple of days. Whatever comes to my mind first creatively that I want to talk about, I'll do it. I'll write the chorus. I'll probably start my verse. And then I'll call my brother. Hey, man, I want you to hear this real quick. We'll probably FaceTime each other. I'll rap it to him. He's like, yo, man, that's fire. You know what? I like that concept. That you wrote it to that beat. I wrote it to that beat. He's like, yeah, man. Hey, I think we can do that. Like, tell me what direction you went with this so I can understand how to go in that direction, but take it a different direction so we can attack it from two different angles. So that's kind of how we do it. We don't write together no more. It's like, I'll come up with a topic. It's either he likes the hook or he don't like the hook. He's like, I don't like the hook, bro. I'm gonna write the hook. All right, well, you write the hook and you come up with something better. I think mine's is fire, but so it's a lot of that back and forth kind of dialogue as far as creativeness. And then once a piece comes together, it's like, all right, well, we rehearsed it a couple times. We're like, oh yeah, I already know what to do. We're done. Next beat, kind of we move that way. So it's like a rolling ball. Like sometimes I'll sit on 3 or 4 songs that I've have conceptually written already. I already have it in my notes. We share notes on the iPhone. So do we do that? So he'll be able to see me writing to something live, and we attach the beat in the notes so he can hear it. Know, all right, let's kind of see where he's going with this, stuff like that. And then especially on the more creative songs like First Things First, where he could see me going bar for bar. He's like, hold on. Now he wilding. I gotta go harder. So we do that a lot with the notes. So he'll be able to see me write it in real time. And then we'll he'll add like a note in there like, bitch ass nigga, I'm going harder than you. Like he'll add that in there. I'm like, fuck out of here. And I'll just keep we kind of go compete, because like I said, we in competition with each other all the time. I'm trying to smoke him on every record. So he knows how I'm coming every time. So, but we also try not to be too bar heavy with the creative process too, because it also depends on the topic. Like if you listen to the song By Design, right? By Design is more of a conceptually written song. It's not so bar heavy, but it's more to wake women up, not to be so materialistic, but be more conscious. So that's kind of the message with that. So, like Like that's kind of like how our creative process works. Hopefully I answered your question.
No,
But,
absolutely. I've created more questions in my head, but it's okay. We're going to pause it there because you did mention By Design, and that's one of the songs. I had it last. I had What's Mine Is Yours next, but we're going to play By Design first because it's on my mind, and now I want to hear that.
Sure.
And then we're going to go back to this other one because I feel like they're all fire anyway. So it don't matter.
Thank you. I appreciate it.